Welcome back to Takeout. President Trump set to deliver his first State of the Union address of his second term. I know you're thinking, wait a minute, didn't he give one last year? Yeah, it's an economic address to the Congress. First year, it's never the State of the Union for an incoming president. That's why we're calling it that. Several Democratic lawmakers announced, well, they're going to skip it. Among them, California Democratic Senator Adam Schiff, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from New York. CBS Sunday morning national correspondent Robert Costa joins me now. What should we look for? Robert?
Well, this is not going to be a letter to Congress like some of those more understated presidents have done. This is his moment. What I'm really watching is foreign policy. All of my sources around President Trump say some kind of action is potentially in the offing when it comes to Iran.
Like he will announce it, or this has just happened, or while I speak to you, this?
It could be. I think a lot of it depends on the intelligence and the situation on the ground, but foreign policy will probably be top of mind.
So that would mean possibly Iran.
And even if we have not attacked Iran or Israel hasn't attacked Iran, should that ever take place in the coming days, having a rationale explained to the American people will be very important with this speech. Most people, when we're out in the country talking to voters, are not paying attention to the minor details and the important details of what Iran may or may not be doing with nuclear programs.
The president said today it's going to be a long speech because I have a lot of accomplishments to talk about. What part of the domestic first year of Trump 2.0 do you think will be most emphasized?
The reaction to the Supreme Court on trade and tariffs, that was such a keystone.
He'll come in hot on that.
Not only will he come in hot, those justices will be sitting just a few feet away, but he really has to make the economic case to the country. Working voters remain the voter when it comes to political coalitions in this country. They moved toward President Trump in some respects in 2016, 2020, 2024. President Biden knew in a way how to really work them over with his labor ties. Can he keep that working coalition together or not?
You read the polls as much as I do. We both know President Trump reads them.
Oh, sure.
They are not good right now. They do not paint a positive picture for him or Republicans, but for him, some polls have him at 36, 37. Even the most generous Rasmussen polls have him in the low 40s. This is not a place that he would like to be or expected to be after year one of Trump 2.0.
The upside for the White House when you talk to top Republicans is that he's not running against any Democrat at the moment. Yes, Gavin Newsom's out there with a book tour. Other Democrats are making noise. You have Hakeem Jeffries and Senator Schumer, the minority leader in both chambers, out front for the Democrats to a point. But President Trump's real battle, in my view, as a reporter, is against himself. Can he reclaim his momentum from his 2024 victory on economic issues and make the case that, yes, tariffs might have a bit of a jolt right now with the Supreme Court, but overall his trade policy is working, his economic policy is working to try to lower prices. I'll be listening closely. What does he offer as evidence to working voters that it is a successful policy?
One thing I have come to watch in these addresses is there anything that the president does to surprise? And I always wonder, because President Trump has the capability and he has the knack to turn a corner, to make a surprise, to do something you don't expect and reclaim something of a lost momentum. I've got my eye on that tomorrow night.
Do you have any guesses?
I don't, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did something in the immigration space to try to recast the narrative that has been damaging, severely so, the last 6 weeks.
And I've been watching the lack of a response to a point of the administration and what's happening in Mexico. I wonder, is he going to lean into what's happening with some kind of action or new policy? I'm also watching America 250. He loves ceremony, theater, patriotic imagery. He's redoing the East Room and the East Wing of the White House. He's doing so much in Washington to put his imprint on the whole city. What's he going to do to the country to really say he's going to move in that direction?
The other thing that's on my mind is, will this speech be viewed, let's say a month from now, 2 months from now, as the place where the marketing of the big, beautiful bill was revitalized? Because they leaned, the White House and all the congressional Republicans leaned so heavily into that legislative effort last year. The president believes, his advisors, the Treasury Secretary, keep saying the refunds are going to be enormous. It's going to have a huge jolt for the economy, not just at the upper end of the K-shaped economy, but at the lower end. Is tomorrow night going to be the place where he tries to revive the sense of appreciation for that big legislative push?
And I think the presentation really matters. When you think about President Biden's final State of the Union when he was president, what do we remember? He tried to bring the energy when a lot of people thought he didn't have it. Does President Trump, and he's not the same President Trump in terms of presentation style that he was in 2016. We all change over the course of a decade. Does he really bring the energy to get that party standing on its feet, to get the country sit up in its seat as they watch it? Or is it more just kind of a long, when Bill Clinton was at his best as president in the State of the Union, he brought this vital energy to the process. When he was at his worst as president, it felt like the State of the Union went on for 2 hours, and it was a lecture at a university. President Trump, he has the same challenge, even though he's a communicator for a living.
Very quickly, before I let you go, Robert, the Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who you name-checked a moment ago, has told his House colleagues, if you show up, no signs, no antics, just be there. If you don't want to be there, don't show up. But don't be a foil, visually or otherwise, for this president.
Most Democrats think Hakeem Jeffries is spot on with that guidance. The Democrats have to focus as much as the Republicans. They're on the brink of power, but if they become a story of distraction versus policy, they're missing their own opportunity.
Always a pleasure, Robert Costa.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Stay with CBS News for live coverage of President Trump's State of the Union address and the Democratic response that will follow. I will kick off our coverage at 5 o'clock Eastern with a special edition of, well, you know what it's called, The Takeout. CBS Evening News anchor Tony DeCoppel will lead our coverage from Washington starting at 8 p.m. with a speech itself scheduled for just a tick after 9 p.m. Eastern. And afterward, you can watch the Free Press post-State of the Union show on CBS News 24/7.